Ripple's CEO just made headlines saying, "Congrats if you own Ripple, it's heading to $10." Yeah, from barely scraping $3 to suddenly touching double digits, people are calling it delusional until they see what's actually brewing behind the scenes. So let's break down why this crazy jump might not be so crazy after all. Ripple isn't just another crypto coin floating around hoping for a moonshot, it's on a whole different level. While most projects are busy trying to make headlines with NFTs and meme coins, Ripple's been laser-focused on something massive. They call it the Internet of Value. And no, that's not just buzzwords. Think about how email killed snail mail for communication. Ripple wants to do the same thing, but for money. We're talking about replacing the ancient, clunky, expensive way of sending cash across borders with something that moves instantly, globally, and costs next to nothing. And they're not targeting some niche use case either. This is a $10 trillion market we're talking about. That's how much money is tied up in slow-moving, outdated international transfers every single year. Ripple wants to become the default highway for moving all of it. And XRP, that's the vehicle running on those rails. Ripple isn't trying to be the next Bitcoin, it's trying to be the next Amazon. The company started with rare books, just like Amazon, but their rare books are cross-border payments. The end goal? Becoming the backbone of global finance. This is exactly why Ripple insiders don't see XRP as just going up. They see it reshaping how the entire world moves money, and that's why things are heating up fast, because this isn't speculation anymore. Real things are happening. You've probably seen the headlines, "Congratulations if you own Ripple, soon on $10." Feels like one of those exaggerated crypto hype lines, right? But here's the twist. It's not completely out of nowhere. This whole thing took off right after Ripple won a major legal battle that had been holding it back for years. A US court officially ruled that XRP is not a security. That one sentence basically changed the future of this coin. Why? Because that ruling killed the biggest threat hanging over Ripple's head. For the longest time, the SEC had been treating Ripple like a stock scam, putting its progress on pause and scaring away the big players. Now that shadow's gone, and with that legal cloud finally out of the way, Ripple is moving full steam ahead. The team isn't shy about it either. They're openly saying that the world is catching up to Ripple's vision. They're not pitching, they're preparing. Let's talk about what might be the most slept-on bombshell in the entire XRP saga. A Ripple-related patent that just switched from pending to active, and it's locked in until 2039. Yeah, not 2025, not 2030, 2039. That's a 14-year runway. This isn't some weekend hype play. It's a long-term strategic move that tells you exactly how far ahead Ripple is thinking. And here's where it gets even wilder. The patent isn't just floating out there on its own, it's tied directly to WorldPay, one of the largest global payment processors out there. The kind of name you don't toss around lightly. This patent, originally revised just 8 months ago, openly references Ripple and the Interledger Protocol, ILP, as core parts of a system designed for settlement and cross-ledger communication. This isn't vague speculation, it's all written into an official document. And the language used? It points to something far bigger than just making crypto transfers smoother. We're talking about a system capable of executing billions of transactions across multiple types of ledgers, both crypto and traditional fiat. You've got blockchain settlement mentioned side by side with Ripple's tech, with the patent referring specifically to real-time gross settlement systems, RTGS. That alone should set off alarm bells because RTGS is the backbone of what systems like SWIFT currently do. And here they are, WorldPay, openly filing a patent that uses Ripple as an example of what a next-gen settlement network could look like. Inside the same filing, you'll also see mention of ICP plugins and a shared ledger component. That setup is what allows this system to become plug and play. Basically, it can slot into multiple financial infrastructures without needing to rip them out and replace everything. That's what makes it scalable. That's what makes it dangerous to outdated legacy systems. Because once this thing goes live, there's no need for 3 to 5 business days or $35 fees for cross-border transfers. It just moves, instantly, cheaply, globally. Now back to the Interledger Protocol. This is where the magic happens. ILP allows for cross-ledger communication, meaning different blockchains and even non-blockchain systems can talk to each other. Ethereum to Ripple, Ripple to fiat, fiat to token, doesn't matter. It's value moving freely between systems, and Ripple is sitting right in the middle of that entire value flow. And the kicker? This patent isn't just a Ripple side hustle. Ripple is baked into the core. It's mentioned explicitly. That's rare. Most companies dance around crypto in legal filings to avoid attention. Not here. This is bold, direct, and locked in until 2039. This tells you exactly how serious they are and how closely the world's traditional payment infrastructure is starting to wrap itself around Ripple's framework. When XRP was priced at just 50 cents, putting in $1,000 got you 2,000 XRP. Simple math. Now that it's floating around $3.50, that same $1,000 only gets you 282 XRP. That's not just a price hike, that's a complete shift in the entry point. And if you're thinking, well, that's still something, let's project this out. If XRP hits $100, the early buyer who grabbed 2,000 tokens at 50 cents walks away with $200,000. The buyer at $3.50, they're looking at $28,200. Still nice, sure, but it's not generational. It's not the wealth shift early adopters are now positioned for. And if you're late to the party but still want that $200,000 return, you'd need XRP to skyrocket to $700 per token. Not $10, not $100, $700 per token. That's not impossible, but we're definitely out of the realm of realistic short-term growth. That's moon mission territory. What does this tell us? The era of mass accumulation is over. That window has slammed shut. You're not getting thousands of XRP anymore unless you're bringing serious cash to the table. This isn't a playground for small retail traders. It's shifting into whale territory, and the power dynamic has changed. That's why people are starting to say early holders are the new 1%. It's not just because they got in early, it's because the numbers are now too stacked for the average investor to replicate that kind of ROI without taking on a huge risk or dropping life-changing money up front. And let me tell you, there's a reason XRP is turning more heads right now than it has in the last decade. And it's not just because of a court case win or a bullish chart. It's because Ripple is finally executing on what it's quietly been building all along. Frictionless value movement, the kind of thing that could literally change how people get paid, how businesses move capital, and how entire economies settle money. We're not talking about some DeFi gimmick or another hype coin with no real-world use. Ripple's technology is being used to remove friction in day-to-day payments, period. Why do people get paid monthly or bi-weekly? It's not because employers like to torture their staff, it's because traditional payment systems are slow, expensive, and packed with layers of intermediaries. Ripple's infrastructure takes all that, tears it up, and replaces it with near-instant settlement. If you're a freelancer in Thailand working for a client in Canada, Ripple can move your money in seconds, not days, without fees eating away at your income. And this isn't theoretical anymore. Companies are using this now. At the center of this system is XRP, and it's not being treated like just a coin. It's a standard token engine, a piece of middleware that can power value transfers for anything, not just crypto. We're talking stocks, real estate, currencies, even tokenized gold if it's plugged in. XRP becomes the fuel that keeps every one of those transactions moving, quickly and cheaply. This isn't a hypothetical future. It's actively being developed and implemented through partnerships with regulated financial giants like WorldPay, which already process billions in global payments. You don't build infrastructure with these kinds of players if your plan is to compete with Dogecoin. You build it because you want your tech to run the pipes of global finance. And it goes deeper. Combine XRP with Ripple's Interledger Protocol ILP, and you get a global financial web capable of settling billions of tokenized transactions per day, across multiple ledgers, in any asset class. Bitcoin can't do that. Ethereum struggles to do that without gas fees breaking the ceiling. But ILP plus XRP? That's a scalable, permissionless engine for the next financial layer. It's not just blockchain-based payments, it's value transfer at internet speed, with no friction, no borders, and no waiting for finality. and this is exactly why XRP is starting to be treated not like a coin, but like a platform asset.